a lot of what I planned to say has been said by the previous speakers already, so I won't repeat everything, but I have a couple of slides to remind me what I planned to talk about. So let's see. And I did, as a matter of fact, answer the 4 questions I was sent in advance, and that's why this looks like that. And the first question was about the importance to talk about the gender in civil protection. And I would start from the fact that Finland, just not a very long time ago, Finland was the EU classified the EU countries in order of gender equality, and Finland was the 3rd one after Sweden and Denmark, which means that we should be quite equal. Or I have to say that my perspective in this is not academic. It's very practical, and I also speak from the Finnish point of view here. So Finland should be a very, very equal country, and in many respects it is. Still, today the Finnish woman's euro is only 84 cents compared to men's euros, and only 6 women ever have passed the Finnish rescuer's course. The Finnish rescuer is the same as the fireman plus something else, so they're very multi-skilled firemen. So if we won't talk about the situation, it will stay as it is forever, I think. So that's why it's important. And of course the aim of us is to use all the possible talents for enhancing the social security. So that was it. Unlike Helena, who said that she had some advantage being a woman, I didn't have any advantage when I was young. I started my career at the Minister of Interior, at the Department for Rescue Service in 1986. And I don't think I had any help of that at that time. I was a woman. It was very difficult for the men in chief position to see any potential in a young woman. And that's quite human, you know. They have been young men one day, and when they face a new young man, they think that he somehow resembles themselves when they were young. But that's not the same with a woman. So that's why it was really difficult to be trusted on, to get to get the position where you really could do something. And I think that was the 80s. So probably it was the same in many other countries in that time too. So I had to work at least twice as much as, and also in a way redeem the right of my existence on there every day. I remember that sometimes it might have been at the 90s or something, I heard about the Swedish doctoral themes where it was constated that the women don't have to work twice as much, it's 6 times as much as men to get the same position. I don't know, I hope it doesn't exist. The situation is not like that today. So, but also I found very, very soon that the quality of results is much better if you are working in working groups and whatever where there are women and men included. And that was at the 80s, and I see that the prospects for a young woman today are far better than 20 years ago, and the situation is very different. And but still, we have a little bit too many male networks working, which makes it sometimes a little bit difficult for women to be accepted in this. On the high levels in Finland, we are very equal. Our government, I think that we have about the same number of female ministers and and men in that in the government, and our own minister is a woman too, and also the former minister was a woman, so that's not anything special. And as politicians, many of the politicians are women, and almost all the permanent secretaries in Finnish ministries are today women. So it's and also at the Department for Rescue Services we have this 50-50% situation today, exact 50-50 situation today. But it's not the same whether the lower we go under this rank and the levels, the fewer women we see working in civil protection. And on the rescuers level, as I said, totally 6 we have ever had in Finland. So what can be achieved by this? And I think that on the scene it really increases the versatility in response if we have there also women rescuers, and as also already Helena told a lot about. And we get also deeper professionalism in many ways, and especially in the international assistance, this being a woman helps a lot in many situations where they have some cultural prerequisites which prevent men to talk to women on the area, for instance. And in the operational organizations level, it's important to get the best possible competence. And at least in Finland nowadays, I don't know what the situation in other countries, where the women are getting a little bit more higher education. They are more eager to study at the university and whatever. So that's something which would really contribute to this competence. And also they can give a wider scope of approach in this very complex civil protection field. So I think it's very important that we have them on all levels in these organizations. And as I already told, the situation is taking care of the higher levels already for a long time ago. But the real practical work is still very much male-dominated. And as I already told, the policy-making level, I think there's not so much, no problems anymore. And we have to, as someone already mentioned, half of the population are women, a little bit more than half in Finland, I think. And they should have their voice heard and their knowledge used. And that is something that I think quite a lot happens on the higher levels. Then there was the question about this resolution. The fact is that in Finland, already 27% of those who are on the civilian crisis management missions are women. So on that area, it's not a big problem. But as I already said, only 6 women ever have passed the rescue course, and that has happened between the years of 1995 and 2005. During the last years, we haven't had any who would have liked to apply to that course. And that really did disturb our female headmaster at the Emergency Service College in Kuopio last year, and she talked quite a lot about that to media, and got 3 applicants, but unfortunately none of them passed. Because the physical entry requirements in Finland, they are made so that they are almost impossible for a woman. And that's something we should really talk about because of this technical development and what's going on. So I think that there are things that could be arranged in a different way. What is also interesting that in the Gallup, there are 75% of the Finns would like to have more female rescuers. So the attitudes are themselves, they are not so bad. I should say that it's something else. Something else that we really don't know why we won't get any female rescuers. And as it was already talked about the female rescue still, we have many voluntary fire brigades in Finland. Our system is very much based on that, the voluntaries. And we have many, as I think that also as in Germany, we have many women, young girls in these youth fire brigades. And there is the question, why don't they apply to the rescue job when they are adults? We haven't found an answer to that. So this is really a difficult question, and it's not very popular question in Finland. We haven't talked about it very much. Maybe we should do that more. And as already mentioned, this international assistance, it really needs women, and the situation in that respect is a little bit better than in our national fire brigades. I think we have just now four active and standby members, and one of them is a woman. And then in our heavy urban search and rescue team, there are many women in that team, and so on. So when we are talking about the international cooperation, the situation is much better. And we have in the governmental level, we have the gender mainstreaming it's included in all the preparedness of legislation or whatever. So that's not a problem in Finland. But I hope that we have come a little bit longer from the situation when at the mid-90s, I had a discussion with my chief. I was working like the other on the department, but my salary was much lower than the men working with the same questions. And then I asked my chief that, why can't I have the same salary? I'm doing the same things and whatever. He said, oh, but you have 4 children. You should be at home taking care of them. And that was only at the mid-90s. So I think this is something that wouldn't happen anymore. We are so far in this formal equality that this kind of questions we don't hear anymore. But still, there's a lot to do, and especially there's a lot to do with real practical work. Could we get more women? As I said, we were the 3rd in this equality ranking in the Europe, but I think that we are almost the last if we think about the promills working at the Finnish fire brigades today. Okay, thank you.